Donna's World. Hello everyone, welcome to Donna's World. Thank God it's Friday. Well, last week I turned 65 and the video I recorded last Friday was so dark and so depressing that a lot of friends and relatives called me up because they were really concerned. I mean, some of them even thought I might just take an overdose and end it all, commit suicide, or, just that people were very concerned about how unhappy I seemed. And, it was because I would look back on my life and I realized that I've done quite a few useful and worthwhile things with my career, my personal life. I have a son and some good friends and other things. But on balance, I would say that I've not had the sort of life I feel I should have had, or the sort of life I feel I deserve. And so that was really doing my head in. But, the effect my unhappiness had on other people was so profound that I've decided to try and be a bit more cheerful this week, to cheer you up. Not necessarily because I'm feeling any happier, but I'm going to try and be more positive, okay? And I must say, I ask myself, if you're hypercritical, which I am, I'm very critical of other people, I'm very critical of myself. So if you are hypercritical, is it an act of self-hatred or an act of self-love? Because if you have a high regard for yourself, then you expect yourself to do well. And I think that, to me, you're actually saying to yourself, look, you're great and you should do better. But some people see it as self-hatred, and I can see why it would be viewed that way. What I would say about my attitude, the personality I project on these videos in weeks when I'm feeling down, is I suppose I am so emotionally repressed really at the end of the day. I shout a lot, I get a lot of things off my chest when I'm angry. But on another level, I'm so deeply repressed emotionally that I can't even cry when I'm sober or as a normal reaction to sad things that happen in life to me. And what I find is that I often wake up with tears pouring down my face. I can basically only cry when I'm asleep. I can't cry when I'm awake. And so these videos, in a way, are me dumping all that sadness on other people without actually crying. But yes, I am very sad and I'm trying to do something about it. Okay? But before I go on, I want to say something I'm quite sad about is that Pretty, one of the girls in the house who works for me and takes care of me, she's been with me for a long time, and we come from the same place, same part of Nigeria, down in Ogoni land in the Niger Delta region. And she is leaving this week to start a catering course. So Pretty, come and say goodbye, because you were here on my first video. So before you go, so Pretty, tell them what a wonderful person I am. Tell them I never shout. I'm not demanding at all. I'm never abusive. Tell them you'll miss me, that I'm the best person you've ever met in your life.
She's a nice person. She's good. She's been like a mother to me and everything. I appreciate staying with her. So, but I have to go and continue my studies. She's a nice person, though.
Yeah. So she's going to go and study catering. She's a good cook. So I'm really, really glad that she's getting the opportunity to go and, finesse her skills in the kitchen. And I'm sure you will join me in wishing her joy and happiness, good marriage, children if she wants them. Well, marriage if she wants it, because not everybody wants to get married. And an excellent career and prosperity. Maybe even one day she'll own a top-class restaurant or a hotel and people will flock there. And so let's say goodbye to pretty by name, pretty by faith, and quite pretty by nature when she's not being annoying.
Bye.
Now, someone else celebrated their birthday last week. A friend of mine called Audrey Brown, a sort of like vibrant South African girl who is a journalist like me and still works at the BBC in London, where I used to work, and we've been great friends for years. Nowadays, we mostly communicate through a book club for women from different countries that we started during COVID when everyone was stuck at home. And so, what we do is every week, one of the ladies chooses a book, and then we meet online and talk about the book that was chosen by whoever. Sometimes, once in a while, most of us manage to meet. Like if I go to London on holiday, I'll meet with the London crowd because most of the book club members are in London. We've got one in India, we've got a couple in America, So anyway, Audrey also had a birthday last week. But to show you the contrast between normal people and me, when we all sent her birthday wishes to the book club platform on WhatsApp, she said, "Oh, thank you, everybody. I had a wonderful day. I lay down in the park, looking at the sky and drowning in love." And I was so irritated by the cheerfulness of this message. But I told her, I'm going to mention it in my next YouTube video, and I'm going to try and copy you and, try and look for the love in my life and the sunshine in my life. So I don't, want to say too much more this week, except to say that I am going to try and be a little bit more positive. Oh, I also want to talk about my sister-in-law, Kanayo. She's married to my first cousin, so she's like a sister to me. And she's a banker living in Cairo, working for a big bank called Afrexim. So we all look up to her because she's a highly successful career woman and also a very, very good person. And Kanayo called me up. She's one of the people who called me up after last week's video. She said, "Oh, for God's sake, do you have to be so negative? There are people who look up to you, people who want to seek inspiration from you. So, throw them a bone once in a while and show them that, life can be great and that your own life isn't all about the things you haven't done or the things you're not happy with." And she reminded me that I must mention that my sister and myself, Leila, my sister, my lovely sister, we are paying for 7 young people to go through secondary school because education is not free in Nigeria. So, like I've said in previous videos, we all come from villages. And so even if your family hasn't lived in the village for generations or decades, we all come from specific villages. And my sister and myself are putting 7 young boys and girls who can't afford to go to secondary school. We're putting them through school and it's going quite well. They're very smart and hopefully they will go on to university or catering college or whatever their hearts desire in terms of moving forward with their lives. So Kanayo, thank you. Yes. She wanted me to tell you about these scholarships that we pay for because we don't have much. So at least we can take pride in the fact that we've used our very limited resources to help a few other people. So I can't say my life's been a complete disaster, that I'm a total loser because I have managed to help a few people. What else have I done that's good? Oh, well, I'm sure I'll remember some things in the weeks to come. But one good thing that has really happened since last week that's cheered me up a bit is I'm going to Venice in Italy, the city of dreams and gondolas, to the Biennale. The Biennale is a huge cultural and arts exhibition that goes on for several months, and there are shows from all over the world, including Africa. And I'm going there with a bunch of friends next month. And so I'm a little bit excited because we actually bought our tickets a couple of days ago. And one of the people I'm going with is Isabel Hughes, who's one of my oldest friends. We've been friends since we were 11 years old, and she's English. And her daughter Mabel is my goddaughter. And then we're going to meet, the person who's going to meet us in Venice is another old school friend whom I've known since I was 11, Stefania Mauro. And she lives near Venice. And she went to school in England, but you can tell from her name, she's of Italian extraction. And after school, she went back to Italy, and she's now a teacher near Venice. And so then I've got another friend called Stefania again, but this is Stefania Maroni, and she is based in Rome. I met her when she was working for the European Union in Abuja, here in Nigeria, and we became really good friends. She's retired from the European Union now, and she's in Rome. So she's coming up from Rome to meet us in Venice. Isabel and I are going to Italy, one from Nigeria, one from London, and meeting two Stefanias in Italy, one of whom is coming up from Rome. And we're going to have a girls' trip in Venice. We're going to float down those canals in the moonlight, the gondolas, and we're going to go to look at all the beautiful places that you would expect in a place like Venice. I will tell you all about it when I've done it. So that's really cheered me up. I mean, that's something to look forward to. And I'd also like to say that I got a very nice work offer in the past week, linked to, in fact, I've had two work offers linked to two different universities. I won't tell you which universities they are, but I'll be doing, media advisory work for them and communications related work and events management, so why does this matter? Because one of the things that makes me sad is having to work for people who have no appreciation for the finer things in life or the values that matter to me. But university people, at least the ones I am dealing with, definitely do. And it's nice working with people who use their brains and want to make the world a better place through education, and they're not just busy stealing money like Nigerian government people. These people are idealists, and it's just wonderful to be able to work with them for a while. And so I'm now going to move to the Viewers' Voices section of the video, where we look at what some of my viewers have told me in messages they've sent to YouTube and other social media platforms. So let me first welcome Mary Jane Wilston from Florida. She has very nice things to say about my channel. Thank you. And she says she understands how I feel when I talk about the aspects of my life that I'm not happy about. She says she is doing her best also, but she has been disappointed in life. She says she feels she has made too many mistakes and that she can't change those things now that she's 77 years old. But we must look forward and not look back in the rear mirror, is Mary Jane's advice. And she says it all. You get to a certain age and you think you've made so many mistakes, you can't undo them. But what can you do? You just keep on moving forward. As someone very wise said, well, the alternative to being 65 or 77 and unhappy about your life is that you're dead. So let's be grateful to be alive, even if being alive is not a major achievement, as I said last week. Moya Greaves thinks I'm being too hard on myself, as do one or two other people. But Moya says something really interesting. She has bad osteoarthritis, and she used to love riding horses and thought she'd never be able to do it again, but she is back in the saddle. So well done, Moya. Lorna Henry, who's 67, just a year or two older than me, and says she knows how I felt. And sometimes I feel quite emotional when I look at these letters from people, these comments, because, a lot of the pain they feel, I can feel it. Everything that's gone wrong for them and gone wrong for me, I can really relate. And she says, anyway, look, it's easier said than done to get yourself fitter and go traveling and do lots of positive things that you've always wanted to do. And she just advises me to concentrate on the experiences that I can share with the world, especially to young Nigerians. And she says 1 week we should really talk about depression, and I think so. Not just, no, I'm miserable, but about depression, the real depression, the clinical depression, the circumstantial depression that people go through. And she says we should also talk about Nigerian cookery. Now you ask about Nigerian cookery just when Pretty is leaving, because she's the main cook in this house. So we'll have to find someone else to talk about Nigerian cookery while I can chip in a bit. I'm not totally useless in the kitchen. Thank you for everyone else. Oh dear. Yet 8117 says it's never too late to do what you wanted to do. She was 60 last week, and on her birthday, she was told she had double breast cancer. And she was alone when she was told this. She says she's not scared of the cancer, she's scared of the loneliness, because UK life is very lonely. Even though she has 4 children, her husband left her. But she's still looking on the bright side and traveling, and she loves it. And what she said about the breast cancer made me remember a very wise saying that I used to cry because I had no shoes, and then I met a man who had no feet. So here are some of us complaining about God knows what, and there you are with breast cancer, and you're still determined to see the glass as half full instead of half empty. Bravo, honestly, kudos. Heather Gillette, totally relates about, this thing about not being happy about the way your life has gone. But what she has come to conclude is that for the people who have achieved a lot, there's often a trade-off, They do very well with their careers, but their personal lives may not be in great shape. That's very true. But there are people who've got everything under control, both personal and professional, as well as financial. But let's not talk about them, because people who have it all are very, very, very depressing. Okay, though we wish them well. Yes, people who are lucky shouldn't be envied. They should just be. We should just clap for them that they're in the lucky minority. No problems, or at least none that we can see. And then Donna Berry is another one that stands out of the messages I've received, saying that, I should get on and do some volunteering and stuff that's worthwhile and not dwell on the negative. And of course, that is what I have already promised to do. So that's all for this week. Thank you very much. Don't forget to tune in to my next video, which is Wellness Wednesday, next Wednesday. That's the channel about self-improvement, weight loss, and all those things. Bye.